All right, everybody. Well, all judges would like to thank you for a solid round to start off WSDC 2017. I'd like to give you a round of applause. And you guys did us a favor. You immediately put our judging skills to the test because we felt that this was an incredibly close debate. All margins were between 0.5 and 2 points. And we all had to think quite a bit about all the material that was presented in this debate, so it was incredibly close. What we all agreed upon is two pieces of context which were successfully introduced by both teams. What are those two pieces of context? We think that Qatar successfully shows in their first speech that there is an unmet demand from public institutions, a lack of spots and a lack of flexibility, so some people are left out. But we think that the proposition also successfully established that the for-profit institutions that then rise up to meet the demand, let's say, have some issues, mostly debt. The question then becomes, okay, so on the margin, do these institutions do a good enough job to justify their existence and help these students, or on the margin, do they do more harm than good? Given that we saw an excellent use of evidence in this debate from both teams, a wide range of examples from both public and private institutions, I think in using that evidence there is also a risk, because a large part of this debate came down to what I call example tennis. Namely, both sides have their favorite examples, they pass them off to the other side and say, well, you didn't deal with my example and my view of the world. But we need to see a lot of engagement on the structural reasons why your examples are more common, or more interesting, or more grave for us to consider in our decision. And it is those structural reasons which we think both teams sometimes struggle to provide, especially as the debate went on down the bench. I think it was funny for the third proposition started, I think, very accurately saying, well, you've ignored proposition. The third opposition started with a proposition, you've ignored all of the good that comes out of for-profit universities, something that we all agreed with. But we think the same is true for you guys, that I think you guys ignored the key examples that came out of proposition. You cast them on, well, those are just some bad apples, right? But like the number of bad apples and the gravity of those bad apples, that's, I think, where this debate then was decided. Okay, so then when we look at the structural reasons that teams provided, what did we end up at the end of this debate? So for proposition, what we get is that we understand that they have a model which we thought was very smart, want to reroute the current money that's going to student loans to expanding community college programs. The second thing that we get is that regulation is quite difficult and they sometimes can be costly and can be too late. The analysis on how courts work was effective. The third thing is that they emphasize that because there is a profit incentive, companies also have an incentive to use every trick in the book in terms of marketing, and we believe that therefore companies would continue to find new ways to get vulnerable students who might not, and it might not be in their best interest to actually follow that marketing. So we think that was successfully established through analysis by proposition. What did opposition give us? We believe at the end of this debate that there's a large group of people who aren't catered to by public institutions, that's also a matter of flexibility of those institutions and their capacity to provide, not only the number of spots, and that they give structural reasons why the profit incentives drive for-profit institutions to cater, whereas they also give very interesting analysis about why public institutions are more care about more research credits, which therefore lead them to structurally not cater to particular groups. So even if proposition wants to do some type of expansion with the extra money that they get, it's unclear about why these institutions would be able to function better and actually provide the type of flexible spots that we see that people need. Okay, so what does the trade-off then come down to for us? We think that proposition gives us a group of vulnerable people who are left indebted with degrees that are not very valuable. We thought it was a shame that proposition was not able to show us the number of people that we're actually talking about, right? The scale of the problem in terms of people. Opposition gives us a group of people who are left out by the public system and to whom for-profit colleges cater, sometimes successfully. Again, it was a shame that the team was not able to show the exact scale of the number of people. And in this trade-off, at the end of this debate, we felt that we, as judges, from the material presented in the debate, thought that the group of people who were left out by the public system and who were catered to successfully by the for-profit